Today, we received an urgent call from local farmers whose cornfields were being devastated by wild boars. Without hesitation, we packed our gear and hit the road. This isn't just our livelihood. It's our way of helping protect the peaceful lives of rural communities. Before sunrise, we arrived at a vast cornfield, a known hotspot for destructive wild boar activity. We moved in quietly, staying hidden behind thick brush lining the edge of the field. Suddenly, the rustling of leaves in the distance snapped us to alert. "There it is," I whispered, squeezing the trigger as soon as the boar stepped into view. The gunshot rang out, shattering the early morning silence. The bullet struck true, and the animal staggered before collapsing to the ground. After dropping the first boar, we quickly picked up the trail of the rest of the herd. Out of nowhere, a dark blur came charging straight toward us. Everyone held their breath, preparing to fire, but at the last second, the boar veered sharply to the side, its speed astonishing, throwing off our ambush. Don't lose it, I shouted, heart pounding. It was fast, too fast, but my teammate's well-placed shot brought it down clean. Things got even more intense when my teammates spotted another group heading straight for the cornfields. They hid stubbornly among the dense corn stalks, forcing us to release the hounds. The smart dogs flushed one out into the open. We sprinted ahead to cut off. From a safe distance, I steadied my aim and pulled the trigger. You wouldn't believe it. That beast must have weighed at least 150 kilograms, with tusks sharp enough to tear through anything. A tip came in. The herd had fled toward the mountains. We wasted no time and took off by truck in pursuit. My buddy drove as I gripped the rifle tight, trying to shoot while bouncing along the rough path. But the terrain got the better of us, and the herd slipped away. They had already made it to the ridge, but we weren't about to give up. We continued the chase, and when I finally had a clear shot, I took it. The boar fell instantly, its run came to an end. We scoured the mountain trail for the herd. A few hundred meters in, we suddenly ran into another boar. I already had the rifle up, finger on the trigger. One clean shot, and it dropped before it could even turn around.
Ahmet'e bak. Sağ ol. Helalin var. Olmadı. Ahmet çok iyi. Bravo.
Some of the boars had escaped over to the far side of the mountain. I radioed Mabel and the rest of our team, who were already lying in wait. From her elevated position, Mabel took aim and fired. The crack of the rifle echoed across the cliffs, but the boar dodged with incredible agility. Still, it couldn't outrun fate.
Düştü o.
We tracked it down to a rugged mountainside clearing, where its rampage finally began. Just as I descended the mountain, a massive boar burst from the trees near the trail. I didn't hesitate. My reflexes kicked in, and I fired twice in rapid succession. A seemingly ordinary hunt quickly turns into a nightmare, when the prey no longer fears, but instead turns back to attack. Who is the real hunter? These ferocious wild boars possess incredible strength and speed, showing no fear of humans. This beast can make us pay a hefty price. In the heart of the dense forest, can we escape the grasp of this new predator? Stay tuned until the end of the video to witness a showdown filled with tension in every second. Wild boars are a common invasive species in Russia, particularly in the Far East. With an average weight of 90 to 200 kilograms, some individuals even weigh over 400 kilograms. They cause severe damage to agriculture, destroying crops and increasing the cost of crop protection. Globally, wild boars cause approximately $1.5 billion in economic losses each year. Furthermore, they negatively impact ecosystems and act as a vector for diseases that can affect both animals and humans. The real hunt begins. This is the time when wild boars emerge from their hiding spots to forage, and we are ready to intercept them. The vehicle speeds through vast fields, while the road ahead narrows into dirt paths, surrounded by barren trees, standing stark against the twilight. Without wasting time, our eyes scan the surroundings, and then, right on the edge of the field, a herd of wild boars appears. Their shaggy, filthy coats are not only unsightly, but also a potential source of disease. As soon as they notice us, they grow wary, ready to flee at any moment. But before they can escape, a series of gunshots ring out, sealing their fate. A few boars, struck by bullets, writhe helplessly on the dry ground, struggling in vain as if begging for their lives. Some manage to dash into the forest, but we won't let a single one get away. We climb higher, maneuvering over jagged rocks, the ground beneath us rustling with dry leaves under each step. The surrounding silence is suffocating. Only the sound of our heavy breathing and the faint rustling of the trees in the wind remains. Fatigue begins to creep in, our legs growing heavier with each uphill step. But ahead, the target is still lurking. We cannot give up. We cannot let the prey slip away. Suddenly, the frenzied barking of our hunting dogs shatters the stillness, signaling that the target is dangerously close. The team instantly sharpens their focus, fingers tightening on the triggers. There it is. I waste no time. I take aim and pull the trigger. A thunderous gunshot echoes through the mountains, and this time, it doesn't get away. The wild boar collapses on the spot. A perfect ending to this heart-pounding hunt. After a night of rest, we regain our strength and push deeper into the nearby forest. As soon as we arrive, the dogs erupt into frantic barking, a clear sign that the prey is near. Everyone holds their breath, scanning through the thick foliage. Aside from the dogs, an eerie silence blankets the forest. The quiet is suddenly torn apart as a massive shadow charges forward. I instantly raise my gun, summoning every ounce of composure and skill I have. One precise shot. The bullet pierces straight into the head of a 60 kilograms wild boar. It staggers for a moment before collapsing onto the ground. Its coarse, dust-covered fur is now still, its powerful body motionless as its final breath fades away. Before us lies a breathtaking natural landscape. Endless green fields stretch as far as the eye can see, with towering mountains casting their shadows against the deep blue sky, a picture of serenity and beauty. But beneath this tranquility lurks a menace. Wild boars running rampant, destroying crops and endangering livelihoods. Not only our hunting team, but many other groups have also gathered, determined to protect this land from the invasive beasts. After careful observation, I choose my spot beside a bush, tense with anticipation. It has arrived. I fire immediately, but the massive beast is faster than expected. It bolts with astonishing speed, forcing me to fire again and again. Only after the fifth or sixth shot does it finally collapse. But there is no time to rest. Our hunting dogs have already located another target. I quickly reposition myself to intercept it. This time, there's no escape. One decisive shot, and it's over. In less than 10 minutes, 2 more full-grown wild boars are taken down. A triumphant hunt, marking yet another victory in our relentless battle against the invaders of the wild. Noticing the herd's escape route, I sprint toward the hilltop, racing against time. My breath comes fast and hard in the eerie silence, heightening the tension to its peak. And there it is. The wild boar freezes in panic as it spots me. Its wild eyes flash with fear as the cold muzzle of my gun locks onto it. But by then, it is already too late. At the end of our expedition, the rewards were substantial. However, given the destruction they have caused, this battle is far from over.
Oklahoma, a state in the middle of the U.S., where corn, soybeans, and wheat fields stretch endlessly. But at this time of year, the fields are no longer peaceful. Wild pigs, destructive creatures, have appeared in terrifying numbers and destroyed more than 200 hectares of crops in less than 2 weeks. This time, we decided to head straight up the mountain, to their lair, to put an end to the destruction that is spreading every day. We started early in the morning. 2 large feeders were placed on the familiar trail, where people said the pigs often appeared. The trough contained a mixture of corn, pellets, and a special scent to attract them. No voice, no strong movements, just eye contact. When the distance was just right, the first bullet whizzed by, the boar collapsed right next to the trough. We continued our ambush at the second trough, more than 500 meters away from the first position. After more than an hour of waiting, another boar came. This is it. Once again, we have the absolute initiative. It seems that our position has been discovered, which makes waiting quite a bit of time. We started expanding our hunting range to the neighboring areas. We moved to a nearby plateau, which has a fairly diverse ecosystem, making it a perfect shelter for the pigs. Here it is. At a distance of 200 m, we opened fire. The pigs were caught off guard, unable to react. They were frantic, but all paths were blocked. A surprise attack, but extremely effective. Adjust the scope, check the surrounding areas, determined not to miss any targets. You see the dark shadows behind the tree. Boom! The gunshots are crisp. The leader fell. It was bigger than I thought. It was truly a great trophy. followed the tracks of those who had escaped the previous battle. We walked for nearly 2 hours. Look! A few minutes later, with just one accurate shot, the wild boar was taken down. The feeling of hunting wild boars made me extremely excited. After the battle on the plateau, a few remaining ones ran towards the mountain top about 500 MOA, an ideal escape route for them. Wild boars move very fast, so I had to aim accurately and pull the trigger at the right time to hit the target. Although the task was difficult, for professional hunters like us, it was normal and required to be done. The situation was extremely chaotic at this time, the herd of pigs frantically searching for a way to escape. But every corner was surrounded. In a moment, the wild boar ran past my sight. I quickly pulled the trigger. However, they were extremely fast. Not only, my teammates also took down quite a few wild boars. Therefore, today we certainly will not have to return empty-handed. Time is not early anymore. On the way back, the black shadows standing out in the middle of the field caught the attention of the whole team. Another herd of wild boars was found. At a distance of about 160 meters, I fired a few consecutive shots. The leader fell down. A fierce chase followed immediately after that. Luckily, we were able to close in time, taking down the remaining ones before they successfully escaped. The last shots ended a long day filled with the smell of gunpowder and endless battles. Hello everyone, I'm Alex Carter, a documentary filmmaker passionate about capturing the wildest stories. I'm not a hunter, and my hands are not used to pulling the trigger. My weapon isn't a gun, it's my camera, the tool that allows me to capture every tense moment, every precise shot, and every heart-pounding chase. This isn't just another film, it's a real-life battle between man and beast. The first light of dawn peeks over the horizon as we take off from the base. The helicopter vibrates slightly as the rotors spin, lifting us higher. Sitting next to me is a team of seasoned hunters, their eyes sharp and focused. At the edge of a barren forest, another herd of wild boars appears. Moving in tight formation, they react swiftly to the roaring engine above. A high-stakes showdown unfolds. With precise shots, the hunters bring them down one by one. Watching this scene, I can't help but reflect. These hunters are not thrill seekers, they are on a mission to control the wild boar population. These massive creatures don't just destroy crops, they pose a serious threat to local communities. My camera keeps rolling, capturing another intense moment. Spotting a large herd below, the pilot swiftly lowers the helicopter, closing in on the targets. The camera shakes violently, but I can't afford to miss this. One by one, the wild boars fall under the hunter's powerful shots. Oh my god! What's happening before my eyes is unbelievable. It all unfolds in mere seconds, yet my heartbeat remains erratic after witnessing such an intense chase. With an aerial advantage, the hunting team locks onto their targets with precision. No boar escapes their sights. The helicopter gradually lowers over a vast field. Two dark figures sprint ahead, desperately trying to escape the relentless pursuit. With speeds reaching up to 50 kilometers per hour and their ability to weave through complex terrain, wild boars are not easy prey. While helicopters provide superior visibility, they must constantly adjust to keep up with the boars' erratic zigzag movements. This time, the hunters triumph. Like black arrows darting across the grasslands, the boars attempt to flee, but the well-placed shots are merciless. Skill, experience, and precision ensure another successful mission. Wild boars reproduce at an alarming rate. Each female can give birth to 4 to 6 piglets per litter, rapidly expanding their population. This is why helicopter hunting is not just a thrill, it's a strategic approach to population control. From above, hunters gain a tactical advantage, spotting targets quickly and executing precise shots. Watching him handle his rifle, lining up each shot with calculated precision, I realize this is not just hunting for him. It's like a strategic game where every decision determines the outcome. The helicopter tilts slightly, positioning itself for the perfect shot. I grip the frame tightly, adjusting my focus to capture every second of this crucial moment. A breathtaking display of marksmanship follows. One by one, and then in groups, the wild boars drop within mere moments. I feel incredibly fortunate to witness and document this once-in-a-lifetime event. On the way back, I review the footage. My camera has captured everything, from the first sighting, the heart-stopping aerial pursuit, to the final, decisive shots.
Wild hogs first appeared in Texas in the late 17th century, originally just a few stray animals. But over time, their numbers have exploded to over 2 million, causing more than $500 million in damage each year to agriculture and the environment. With the situation spiraling out of control, Texas authorities have taken drastic action, organizing helicopter hog hunts, turning the skies into a battlefield against these destructive beasts. We lifted off right as the clock struck 4 p.m. The helicopter soared into the sky, marking the beginning of our battle against the wild hogs. Look over there. Isn't that a massive herd of hogs? They're everywhere. I quickly loaded my rifle, held it steady, and began to take aim. The roar of the engine blended with the rapid-fire gunshots. With my opening volley, I landed a clean hit. The rest of the herd scattered in panic at the sound of gunfire, but we immediately gave chase, closed in fast, and opened fire. Within seconds, several more hogs were down. In another part of the sky, Neil's chopper was circling above the fields, scanning for me. With years of hunting under his belt, Neil had no trouble locking on targets and taking them down with precision as soon as they entered his sights. Our team pushed onward toward a wide, open grassland. This time, Ralph was the shooter. The helicopter dropped to a lower altitude, giving us the perfect angle for a clean shot. Ralph steadied his aim and unleashed a barrage of bullets. Wherever we flew, hogs fell. The entire area turned into a relentless sweep, leaving no room for escape. What we really wanted was to find larger herds, since they cause the most destruction and reproduce at an alarming rate. After about 10 minutes of circling, we spotted the perfect target. We moved in swiftly. I didn't hesitate. I squeezed the trigger without delay. But with the constant vibration of the rotor, bullets sometimes veered off course. Often, we had to fire multiple times before finally bringing them down. The next morning, we were back in the air, ready to hunt again, this time with a new companion joining us. Our first destination was a stretch of land bordering the fields. It didn't take long before the first target revealed itself, a lone hog sprinting across open ground. But it couldn't outrun the hail of bullets raining down from above. It collapsed almost instantly. The helicopter pressed on steadily. This area wasn't dense enough for the hogs to hide, so no matter how fast they ran, there was no escaping their fate. Everyone stayed locked in and laser-focused, aiming and firing with deadly precision. In the blink of an eye, gunfire echoed across the sky, and the hogs dropped like flies, scattered across every stretch of land we passed. It was an inevitable fate for these invasive creatures, whose rampage has haunted this region for far too long. Hog after hog fell, so many that we lost now. But no matter how many we took down, it still felt like just a drop in the ocean compared to the explosive reproduction rate of this species.